Hello Descendants, it's Paps again with another Devnote 7 just released today this morning, which reads, Greetings Descendants, this is the First Descendant dev team. We started our first Devnote early last year with an update from the First Descendant dev team, and we thought we'd get this year off to a strong start like last year, with varied news on what's going on with the First Descendant development. This Devnote is based on the highlights from recent media interviews with producer Lee Bom-jun and director Minisoko Ju. If I've screwed up those names, I apologize. And it seeks to provide a behind-the-scenes look at what the dev team is going through while working on the project. Okay, how the dev team has been doing. The Crossplay Open Beta test was amazing. I have to say, guys, it was a really, really good beta testing, especially the crossplay. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And let's see what they say. But it's left us with a lot of homework, rightly so. There were a lot of things. So let's go through this. So we chatted between ourselves saying, why is there such unrelieving feeling when the test went well? We believe it's because the fact that so many people are excited for the First Descendant, and it has made us feel even more accountable. As soon as the Crossplay Open Beta test finished, we began planning for the game's launch. Based on the extensive feedback we received during the testing period, we worked hard to develop a plan for what we wanted to rectify and enhance before launching. We spent the rest of last year fleshing out the plan and beginning development. And before we could feel the end of year holiday season, we were already in 2024. So, from the Crossplay Open Beta test to the Game Awards. Actually, we did intend to make it an open test. While we were preparing for the test, there were suggestions that we test crossplay, as well as get a lot of feedback. So we decided to switch to an open beta test. There was absolute pressure. Oh God, I haven't got my tongue in today, guys. All right, so let me just do that again. There was absolutely pressure when we made that decision, but we were so committed to apply the changes from the feedback, which resulted in a month-long delay in testing schedule. Thankfully, the Crossplay Open Beta test turned out better than we anticipated, which was wonderful. As a result, we gave careful consideration to how we could use these results to inform future strategies. Similar to this, we considered when the right time is for the game's launch, including when it'd be ready for we would conduct internal testing and make decisions, and then develop it through user feedback, and when to announce about the launch period. As a result, for announcing the period, we decided that the Game Awards would be the ideal venue for doing so. Of course, the Game Awards included a ton of amazing games, but it was also really motivating for us, and we thought it might serve as a wonderful gift for all of the users who have been waiting for the First Descendant, if we share the launch period with some of them on such a fantastic stage. So we chose the Game Awards as a means to commit ourselves to the launch period for our community. Hey guys, if you did see the Game Awards, there was a drop for the new trailer, which is in the link here. It'll be in the link. I've done a video on that. It was amazing. So about the Game Awards trailer. The main trailer was entirely made by the dev team. We did use licensed music for dramatic effect, but other than that, the directing team, sound team, and animation team in the studio put a lot of resources into the work together to create the trailer. We can't seem to get the right feel when we collaborate with outside companies, so try to create everything within the dev team as much as possible. We have changed the vibe for the trailer this time to make it a bit more dramatic, like a movie trailer. I wish we could have been there, the Game Awards, to watch it. Check it out, guys. It was a very good trailer. The cinematics were great. There's my theory about a certain character, so go check it out. So when? In summer 2024. Yes, the summer launch this year has been officially confirmed in the Game Awards trailer. However, we are currently finalising the actual release date of our future plans, so please bear with us a little while longer. So they haven't given us a date yet, guys. Oh well, we'll just have to wait out. Keep our ear to the ground. Okay, 110,000 comments received from the Crossplay Open Beta testing. Right, okay, so they've done all of that. They've looked at all of this information. Let's have a look. We received a ton of feedback, but we are able to clearly identify what needed to be done after reviewing everything. Among them were the story, as well as problems with empty fields, a challenging environment for co-op, repetitive content, etc. Oh, and a lot of people requested to make the grappling hook better. What? I thought it was okay. Okay, the animation looked like a line draw, but I thought it was okay. Ah, not sure about that, but hey ho, we'll see what they'll do. The dev team was able to better prioritize the work that needs to be completed before the launch thanks to these feedbacks, which also helped us identify the challenging but crucial issues. About 200 employees are currently working on various roles in preparation for the launch. The teams are working on several small to big issues simultaneously, and we are extremely focused on ensuring that it all comes together in one piece. We've been working on dubbing, the recently revised law. I'm not going to lie, the dubbing, it was pretty poor, if I'm honest. And if they've recognized that and they're going to do that, the dubbing again, I'm excited to see that. I'm going to be excited. I'm not going to lie, the dubbing was terrible. Put in your comments if you think I'm absolutely way off piste, but I just thought it was. Anyway, which is going through significant changes as a result of the feedback we received during the Crossplay Open Beta test. A small spoiler alert. Descendants will work with the main character to complete objectives and make significant appearances as NPCs in the main story. Oh, what? No. No, I like that type of thing where we have a character that we get fond of. It's like, for example, Destiny 2. I play that game as well. It's like if Zavala comes and helps us. Or if it's Ikora, where we've had those break pieces, certainly in Witch Queen, where she came down. I've got this Guardian, opened the door. Ah, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Additionally, we're developing original storylines for Descendants to give them more character and narrative depth. Now that's good and interesting because, it's all interesting playing these games and stuff, but I'm not sure, with the development of the Hunter, the Titan, and all of those. We didn't kind of have that with Destiny, where it was a character build up. It was more, you're this character, and we had the storyline in the background. We had a generic thing of like Descendants, they serve to protect. It's a similar thing with Guardians. But this will be interesting. I'll be interested to know your thoughts, guys, on in the comments on what you think developing original storylines of 4 Descendants will be. How did Bunny become Bunny? I don't know, man. Let's see. Along with the story improvements, we're also preparing richer in-game cinematics. Since the First Descendant received a lot of attention for its amazing cinematics, please also look forward to immersive in-game story cinematics that we hope to deliver. Okay, this is another point for you guys to put comments. I just hope it's great if we do these, to have the cinematics to portray a story or portray the storyline, to kind of link it into one thing. However, this is a looter shooter, man. And we just want to play the game. You know what I mean? We just want to play the game. So I just hope they have a balance for the in-game story cinematics and us playing the game. We want to play the game. Interested with your comments. Oh, here's a big one. What about empty fields? Oof, this is a hot topic, to be honest. It combines both technical constraints and genre traits. Combining the open world, shooter, and online game genres was one of the hardest things the dev team had to do to create the First Descendant. With the ability to shoot from distance 100 meters and 150 meters, shooters are a genre distinguished by an extremely broad engagement range. It was a great challenge to accommodate a large number of players while maintaining synchronization between the monster AI and gamers inside this range. Furthermore, it was challenging to define the players' paths of entry due to the open fields. Okay, so when they're developing games, there is a certain area or certain limitation where they can accommodate a high amount of AI and to accommodate the number of characters that are in that area, in that field. I get it. I understand. However, that's in that was in one of the dungeons, I believe, or is one of those key players where the repetitive things that we could do. And yeah, that's fine, but we're looking in empty fields. We're looking like roaming around, going into empty space, seeing factions in that empty space. And I guess that is a bit of a challenge for them, but it's something that we wanted, and I know I actually mentioned that in my returns to Nexon when playing the open beta. So, furthermore, the genre prioritizes the sensation of shooting over all other considerations. The character needs to react quickly to hits and fires right away when the player pulls the trigger. So, in our defense of fields looking empty, we have so far avoided having a lot of moving AI in the open field for the sake of online play and shooting. But we are solving this problem because the fields in the previous Crossplay Beta test received a lot of feedback. Okay, so this might be a future patch note. This might be a future development. They're aware of it and they've identified it and they are going to deal with it. It is complex. It is difficult. I'm happy. I'm positive about the fact that they've taken this, which is great. Thus, we significantly made changes to the fields. In order to minimize the area where battles occur, we have divided the fields into smaller sections and incorporated a variety of non-mission content in between. These include out-of-combat content and enemies that defend their bases regardless of missions. Whoa! There you go. While increasing the density of content in the fields with such changes, we are also working on increasing the density of players in a given space to facilitate co-op play. They're looking at every aspect, guys. They're looking at every aspect, which is good. We're making adjustments so that it will be more likely to run into other players who are on the same mission, and dungeons now have matchmaking for smooth co-op play. Nice. It would also be possible to bring other players into your current mission through the request for help feature. So there are going to be more multiplayer support than before. Request for help. Interesting. About the modules. Here we go. Well, first off, we believe the outcome was as good as we could have hoped for, because the videos of content creators who participated in the Crossplay Open Beta test showed that they put a lot of thought into optimizing their builds using the modules. The idea behind the modules is to let you customize your build to get the most out of your specs and realize your power fantasy. In terms of how far we've come in that regard, where we weren't quite there yet in the Crossplay Open Beta test. In large, the modules included ultimate modules and skill modification modules, which have the ability to change the nature of a build. but checking the data revealed that the module's utilization was somewhat skewed. It's possible that a short test period left little time to experiment and integrate the capabilities of various modules. But given that the development team's goal is to enable a range of build settings, the outcome was disheartening. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I liked it. I liked the fact that you could use the modules. Use your modules for weapons, to upgrade your weapons, to change the traits of them, your skill base to increase your power. You just had to. The only downside it was the currency to increase that. But with all looter shooters, this is the same. I don't understand. I just think that's. What's your opinions, guys? Put it in the comments. That'd be great. In order to guarantee that every Descendant will have a unique module setting at launch, and that the same Descendant may have multiple module settings depending on their playstyle or main skill, we're making a number of changes. Oh, we think looter shooters are basically games where you assemble your own build and realize your power fantasy, and the only difference is that we also use guns for shooting. How you assemble the modules to create your build is important for that process, and we've received a lot of data from the 2 tests we've run, which are giving us answers on how we can improve the areas that are lacking. So we're confident that the game will be much better next time. Okay. This will be interesting, guys. Gotta be said, it'll be interesting. We'll have to see. How a character is created. When we create a character, we normally start by thinking about a position the character will take. At the same time, we think about what the edge of this character is while planning the character's background, appearance, concept, and their skill set, and work on creating that edge as we draw and model the character. Communication is crucial during this process because it involves several teams. During the early concept phase of Bunny, we wanted to create a character that could run around and wipe out enemies without firing a shot. So naturally, the art team came up with the rabbit concept. It was a case where the character's edge was summarized very well in a single line. To be honest, yes, it was. Bunny. Fast as hell. Okay. After the characterization is complete, it is followed by a process of iterative testing where we check that the character's skills work as intended and make any necessary adjustment. It's especially important to make sure that the character is easy to control with the gamepad. As you can see, it takes time and cooperation between various teams to create a single character. So there are cases where we discovered potential in a character during development that we didn't realize in the initial planning stage and have to revise our plans. Because of this, it's really thrilling when we finalize a new character and use them in the field for the first time. We also put a lot of work on character appearance because the First Descendant is a character collection game. We took note of what players found appealing about the characters, particularly from the Crossplay Open Beta test, and improved their shortcomings and amplified their strengths to make them more appealing. We worked hard to display the backside of the characters in great detail during the Crossplay Open Beta test. The game is a TPS. Now, I know a lot of people were disappointed with Seren. Seren looked awesome. She's like a hunter, assassin. And they were underwhelmed. Me personally, I wanted to get a hold of Seren. I wanted to unlock her, and then I wanted to play and really give it a good testing and test out the capabilities of her and enhance her powers, enhance her electrical powers. I think if they are now fine-tuning that, then Seren may be something that guys might want to look at again. So I'm quite hopeful because I like her concept. I like her concept of assassin and the speed at which she comes across. And then the character development of her is, and if they're going to put that in there as well, that's going to also, we're going to understand that character, have it put on a personal level, get connected to them, and then we understand the capabilities a little bit better. So it's looking good, man. I have to say. Again, comments, please, for my thoughts. About endgame content. We believe that Intercept Void Battle was a component of the endgame material you encountered. The Intercept Void battles itself are compelling endgame content, in our opinion, especially when the hard setting steadily increases the amount of cooperation, strategizing, and mechanic breaking required. For the launch, we're creating more endgame content in addition to Intercept Void battles. In the fields, we'll now have hard difficulty, better loot will be available on higher tier difficulty when the main story in all 8 fields has been completed. Awesome! That's what you want, which is great. All dungeons will have a system that supports matchmaking. Dungeons on hard difficulty also have a system where you can choose penalty options to challenge yourself to an even harder environment. The dev team intends to offer a variety of endgame content that suits the player's preference and farming locations. There are Intercept Void battles on hard difficulty that require party play, but there will be dungeons that can be enjoyed solo too. We're also looking at the quality of life improvements to make it easier to replay various content. Implementing matchmaking in dungeons is one of them. On the other hand, we're also providing the private mode for players who don't want to be matched with strangers in Intercept Void battles and dungeons. Okay, very nice. Since we are a live service game with constrained constant updates, we think endgame contents will also need to be constantly updated. Regardless of how enjoyable the Intercept Void battles are, players may grow accustomed to them in as little as 3 months, and after 6 or 12 months, they may lose their novelty. Guys, that was another thing which I put down on my feedback, was the fact that the end game battles were repetitive and they've listened. What? Because of this, we're also making plans for how we will provide new endgame material through updates when it's required. Since it's a live game, I think the endgame content should also continue to change. This game, look guys, this game, gotta say it, it seems they've listened. I can't wait. I'm blown away by this. About consoles. We're putting in a lot of effort to improve in the First Descendant's console gameplay. In Crossplay Open Beta test, we were new to consoles, so featuring like gamepad controls and optimization weren't up to par. We intend to fix these issues. As announced, we have a 50-50 ratio of consoles and PC users, which is quite high. Which is quite a high ratio for console users for an online game. Thus, we're taking a lot about providing additional care for both PC and console users. I believe there will be improvements in a number of areas, including stabilization and performance optimization. We also intend to offer other features. Interesting. Now, I know on the crossplay beta testing, there was a 50-50 split between console and PC, which is only right, that they are trying to improve the console experience, because this was predominantly made for PC. I'm going to put it out there. Okay. And now they've identified that hey, look, we got a 50-50 split. We have to address the console issues, which is great. Again, put in the comments what you think. Wrapping up, we wanted to share some of our recent work in this Devnote, as well as more candid behind the scenes look at the First Descendant's development. In the future, we'll be releasing more dev notes covering a variety of topics. Please continue to support and provide feedback to the First Descendant, and we'll continue to respond to questions that we can address promptly. through our community frequently asked questions. Thank you. There we have it, guys. Like I said, there are a lot of developments, a lot of changes, a lot of movement. It sounds amazing. They are listening to the community. It's going to be an ongoing development. The fine tuning consoles, the end game, the fields, the empty fields, the modularization, all of that is looking good. It's looking good. So I would put a thumbs up for this game. I'm really looking forward to it for the summer. Hopefully we'll get a date. So as always, guys, leave your comments in there, and I'll see you in the next one.